R.I.P.
Right.
All right, we're recording. Welcome back to our Serious Angler podcast, episode number 135. We're joined
Devin
tonight by
Banks.
Mr. Devin Banks. If you guys have recently seen a sweet, what is Abu Garcia Veritas video,
Yeah.
it was probably Mr. Devin Banks on Instagram. We're going to bring that up today. I might actually be able to share screen and play it for him up here in the podcast if he doesn't mind.
Oh man, that video caught my eye, and I was like, "Whoo, that's fire!"
Yeah.
Like
you shared that to me, and I was like, "Damn, what a sick video." We're definitely talking about that.
Oh yeah.
But dude, how's your week been?
Oh, not too bad. Got out fishing. When I go out on Monday, I got out on Erie before we talked to John, and I've just been doing the work grind. Had some good sales to start the week, so looking forward to the weekend. I'm going to get back out on Erie Saturday morning for a couple hours, I think, to try to practice a little more for the Douglas Derby, which right now, based on wind forecast, it's going to be Upper Niagara.
Yeah.
So, did you find a partner yet?
I'm still with Mike.
Are you? Mike's going to come up?
He's planning to come up as of right now. Hopefully it stays true. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But worst case scenario, maybe I'll attach my rope to your guys' boat, and I'll just set up my kayak and fish behind you.
That'd be amazing. We'll leave a live well open for you.
Right. All right. Yeah, I'm hoping to get out this weekend. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But today was a lazy day for me because yesterday was exhausting, but amazing all at the same time.
Oh yeah, your twin 8. Well, you got a 9 and your brother got an 8 within 20 minutes or something of each other.
Yeah. So I was gonna bring it up because this moment is pretty big and it's very rare. So for people who don't like hunting, skip forward a little bit, like 2 minutes. I promise I'll try to keep it less than 2 minutes. But for me, it was super special because not only one, it's with family, it's with my brother, but what we did was it's very rare. So essentially what happened was the morning started off kind of wild. We got into the woods. Well, first of all, my brother slept past his alarm, so I had to wake him up. And we finally got on the road, got down to our hunting land. We're halfway through to where we're going to get to, a far ridge on our land. And he's like, crap, I left my phone in the car. And so he wasn't going to go grab it, which we'll add up in a second here why it was important that he went and got his phone. He decided to change his mind, ran all the way back to the car, grabbed his phone, ran all the way back. And by the time he got back, I was already to my spot up in my tree. And it's basically on the back of our property, there's this huge ridge that runs north to south. And I'm on the east side of the ridge with a small strip of timber with hardwoods, these pines. And he was on the west side of the ridge with the same thing. There's pines that go through hardwoods, then his spot, ridge, me, I was same thing. It's almost identical. So we're maybe 50 yards from each other. We can't see each other, but within 50 yards, on opposite sides of the ridge, just obviously facing opposite directions. And he finally texted me. Sunrise was 7:22. He texted me at 7:20. Finally got settled. So just on time. And it is 7:26. I have the text message saying, big deer coming up to you. I can't see what it is. So he just saw the body. And by the time he texted me that, I was sending a good morning text to my girlfriend. And I'm mid-text, and I look to my left, and all I see is rack coming up towards me. And I'm like, heart rate went from 60, 70, relaxed to 140, freaking out, pumping out of my chest. So I have to slowly stand up. And it happened dude, it's all a blur. And got him that drew perfect. I didn't even have to stop him. He stopped right where I wanted him to be. Perfect heart shot. Yeah, it wasn't. Well, I clipped heart, double lung. He dropped within 30 yards, so it was dead quick because that's how you want it to be because you don't want him to suffer at all. And it was amazing because I FaceTimed him right after. I'm like, dude, he's down. Because if Josh didn't have his phone, I would have still been texting her and probably would have been late to get up and get my bow to get off a good shot. And it wasn't maybe 15 minutes later where he texted me. We're in the texting the process. He might get down. We're going to go grab him sort of deal. And he texted me, big buck coming down. Don't text me. Because he didn't want like the phone to buzz and scare the deer up because they'll hear it. They're smart. And I look because I can look and I could see his ridge. I look back and I see rack going down his ridge. So I get my binoculars out and I'm just watching his deer, watching his tree, and I'm like, oh, he's like 30 yards. And next thing I know, I hear arrow, and deer runs off. And so I text him like, well, did you get him or what? And he goes, yeah, but I think it was a bad shot. But his arrow ended up passing all the way through. And so pretty much in less than 30 minutes, we both shot big bucks. And we waited like 2 hours for his deer. I got down and actually could see his deer that was laying down there. I thought it was still alive. And basically I got my deer. We did our business. We backed out for 4 or 5 hours because we thought it was a bad shot on his buck. So we gave it time. We came back. His deer didn't even move. It was dead. It didn't go 40 yards, and we doubled up on big old bucks, which is pretty sweet to do.
It's incredible.
It wasn't even 8:30 in the morning, and we had both of our deer down.
Looks like you're done deer hunting for a little bit.
I might go Saturday morning and try to fill my doe tag. But, yeah, it's pretty much all fishing until after I get home from Tennessee next month.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was definitely longer than 2 minutes. I apologize. But
yeah, we're 6.5. We warned them in the rabbit hole. So
further ado, would be a long intro. But
let's get
enough about that. But super special moment. That's wanted to share because it was freaking awesome. But, yeah, without further ado, let's get him on here. Mr. Devin Banks. What's going on, man?
What up? What up?
I'm sorry to bore you with my hunting stories.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. Love,
do you dabble with hunting at all there in Michigan?
I have not had opportunity. I'm more of a water rat, man. I love the water. Right. It's always been like that. Mom, dad always took me fishing when I was young, and I just something about the water with me. I'm pretty sure I probably would like to go hunting. I got a lot of guys that like hunting, but one thing with me, I don't like the cold. So that doesn't work with me. And just, I'll be in a boat all day hunting for fish, but it'd be different if I ate venison or something like that. But, I'm not that type of game eater. So I just stick to the fish, and I don't even eat fish really.
Really?
My wife will force me to eat some walleye or some tilapia or some catfish like that. That she'll force me, but no.
Wallaye's good stuff, man.
It is, man. And my mother-in-law, it tastes like steak. It tastes like steak.
It's incredible.
Well, dude, you brought up how your parents got you into fishing. Well, we want to hear the story. Your first fish catch. Obviously, I'm assuming your parents introduced you then to fishing. Yeah. What's that whole first fish catch story like? We want to hear the whole 9 yards.
Oh, man. First of all, born and raised in Flint, Michigan. Come from a basketball family. So fishing was just more of a way for my dad and my mom to get me and my brother out the house to enjoy the outdoors, right? So we would go to Kersey Lake, Seven Lake State Park, and, Zebco, reel rod, bobber, we catching bluegill, and I remember that 5, 6 years old, I got the bug, and, 5, 6 year old, as soon as that springtime hit, I'm tugging on my dad, when we going fishing, and he's like, man, and my dad, he's 25 years older than me, so he's still playing ball, he's still playing basketball, so I'm 5 or 6. He's 30, 31, and he had just stopped attempting to play in the NBA. Like my dad was there. My dad was there. Short story. I was in high school and I always wanted to one up my dad. So I was in high school. I was on JV. I had 18 points. I'm like, yeah, I'm living it up. My dad has a 40 and over game. He has a 40 and over game. And mind you, I'm 15 on JV, so my dad's about 40, 41. So if you know sports, basketball-wise, he has Charlie Bell's dad, who played at Michigan State, the leading scorer of Flint basketball. So he had Charlie Bell's dad on one wing, and he had his uncle on the other wing, and my dad one up me. My dad, 41 years old, scored 63 points.
Oh my gosh!
In front of me, my brother, and then my mom. It was halftime. He was like, "Don't tell me what I got. Don't tell me what I got." 63 points, and I'm like, dude. And when I moved down here to the Metro Detroit area, and I started getting involved in like basketball and stuff, people knew my dad that I ever even knew. John Long, who was a long lifer Piston, was like, dude, I used to play against your dad, and your dad lit me up. Your dad was so in the summertime, as a family, it was basketball and fishing, and what really got me hooked on it was, one, it was the outdoors, two, was spending time with my family, and three was the big kicker. I would get up on Sunday morning before we went to church, and Sunday morning, TNN, Bob Cobb, the Bassmasters. Right. And I'm like, what is this? Hold on, what's this? I'm sitting there, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, watching this stuff, and I'm watching a half an hour of that, and then I'm watching all these other fishing shows, and then I get to the point to where I'm getting real intrigued. I get a couple dollars. I'm going to any sporting goods store, and I'm buying a spinnerbait, because that's what Denny Breyer was using, and I'm just gathering all this tackle, and before I knew it, it got to the point to where I'm watching FLW, and going into the later years, like maybe when I was in high school, it was to the point to where I had an addiction. It was bad. I was taping. I have a box. I have a box of VHS tapes.
Now, are you committed to that VHS player so you can still go back and rewatch them?
I still got one.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that still has one.
I still have a VHS. I still have a VHS player. And it was so bad through high school that they tape the shows during the season, and they play them in the fall. So you don't really get a lot of repeats in the summer, but ESPN, TNN, all those stations playing FOW and Bassmasters and all that stuff, and it's all these fishing shows. Hank Parker Outdoors. I saw Hank Parker at the Classic in Houston, and I said, "You don't know it, but you taught me how to flip."
Yeah,
and that was a big moment for me. But going through, I would get up early Sunday morning, and I'm sitting there taping these shows, and because in the wintertime, here in Michigan, we got 2, 3, 4 feet of snow, can't go outdoors, you got cabin fever. And I'm sitting there in the basement with a rod, learning how to flip and pitch. And I'm sitting there watching Hank Parker Outdoors. My favorite was Denny Brower's The Bass Class. Yeah. Oh, man, that was, I don't know if you guys ever was able to catch that, man, but the intro was awesome. And he would sit there and, obviously he was promoting Strike King products, but he was going over, every single bit of intricacies in regards to rod, reel, line, all that stuff that, now you see a lot of, but you didn't see a lot of that back then. And I remember, Bass Pro Shops was like 20 minutes from our house in Auburn Hills, and I would go up there when I got my license, and I would be in Bass Pro Shops all day long. And he was sponsored by Daiwa, so I got a couple of those Daiwa reels, man. Them reels is, them reels is like 18, 20 years old. I still got those reels. But just me every year, just learning and just falling in love with it, and saying this is what I want to do. And I remember my mom and dad like, hey, I want to fish for a living. They like, what are you talking about? And I would show them Bassmasters and all that stuff. And I remember one summer, I got tired of fishing on the bank. I got tired of it. I got tired of fishing. I got tired of bank fishing. So what I did was I went to Walmart and I put a Motor Guide trolling motor in layaway. Put it in layaway and got it out. And I would put that on the back of a John boat. And I would go rent a John boat for $25 a day off Lobdell Lake. And I would go out there and I go fishing with a fishing buddy of mine. My dad will never get in the boat. To this day, my dad will not get in my boat. He thinks my boat's too low, and I'm on St. Clair. He sees those waves. He ain't having it.
Too low, too fast.
Oh man, he ain't having it. And I think I'm gonna get him I think I'm gonna get him next summer and get him out there and just idle out there and get him, on some smallmouth while they're bedding. But I remember putting that trolling motor on the back of there and taking the battery down to the gas station, and him charging it up for a day, and me getting it and putting the battery in the back of that John boat I rented and hooking up that motor guide and thinking I'm doing something with 80-pound thrust. And I'm just I'm in a bay, and literally I remember throwing a 1/4 ounce Terminator spinnerbait and laying the wood to some largemouth on Lobdell Lake, throwing a floating worm. I remember that. And I'm fishing. I'm young. I'm not knowing that they spawning. I'm not knowing that they pre-spawn. I'm just out there fishing. I'm learning all this stuff as I go, right? Because my dad and my mom, they just like, we're going fishing. But what would always get my dad was, you catching those fish off a piece of metal. They in the spinnerbait. What the heck is going on? My dad, when we would go, he would buy leaf worms and regular worms. So when he comes to the house now and he sees all the stuff I got, he just like he like blown. He's like, dude, I can't believe that they hitting plastic and they hitting this and they hitting that and do
you get the what do you need all these rods and tackle for comments?
I get that from my dad. I get that from my uncle. So,
I get it every day.
it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I probably got 50 setups. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Do I use them all? No. A lot of this stuff is backup. But when I get to the point to where I'm at now, and you go out and practice like you've never been to, or you got just the research that you've done, and you hit the lake, you got to have 25, 30 rods in the boat, because you just don't know. Especially like first tournament next year is Lake Champlain. I'm gonna have smallmouth and largemouth gear in the boat,
right?
And then whatever I target first, it might not be hitting, so I got to go and maybe search for the largemouth because the smallmouth area was not working for me. So, but just to backtrack, when I was in high school, I was in love with basketball and I was in love with fishing, but I think I was more in love. Basketball came easy, so it wasn't. It was in the blood, so that was just easy. But when it came to fishing, it was a real passion, a real love for it. And I couldn't wait till spring hit. So that's what I would do. I remember getting my first bait caster at Myers and putting that in the layaway. And it had an informational video that came with it. VHS. It had an informational video that came with it.
Fantastic.
That showed you how to work a bait caster and not get backlashes. And it was a Shimano. I remember that came with a 6. I think I still got it. It came with a 6.6 medium heavy rod, and I was just learning as I go. And then for a minute, my fishing buddy at the time, he went overseas. He was all my fishing buddies were older than me. They were all older than me, so they were more established. But he was in the Army, or the reserves. So he had to go overseas, and that's when I went to college. So when I was playing ball, playing basketball in college, and fishing was always on my mind. And I remember being at a national championship. I played junior college basketball. We made it to the national championship game. And I remember talking to my coach. We about to get ready for the national championship game. And he was like, "You ready?" I said, "Yeah, man, I'm ready to go." And he was like, "What's on your mind?" I said, "The water." That's what was on my mind. I was the water. It calmed me down. It took my nerves down. He didn't get it. And even at that time, as I think about it in hindsight, it was always in the back of my mind that, hey, this is a path that you need to continue to pursue. And I continue that. When I transferred from junior college, I ended up moving to Dearborn, Michigan, because I went to University of Michigan, Dearborn. Well, Dearborn is 30 minutes from Lake St. Clair. Now, mind you, I've never been on Lake St. Clair until I got down to the Metro Detroit area and saw it on all types of videos and articles. And that was like the God haven for me. It was like, if I ever get to St. Clair once, I did it. And to think now that I'm able to, call that my home lake is just, I get choked up a little bit about it, because it's a lot of hard work that I put in to get to this point. Even it's a pleasure to talk to you guys at this moment. So went to U of M Dearborn, graduated with my undergrad degree in education. And when I met my wife, we started dating. And she was like, what are you all about? I said, I'm all about my faith, my family, and fishing. And if you can get with those three, we good. We are good. I said from day one, it's these three. And I said, this was our first date. I said, baby, and if you don't understand that, that's fine. I'll still pay for dinner. I'll walk you to your car. You can go on with your life, and I'll go on with mine. And because I'm not dropping none of those. And I took her to a FLW event that was at Cobo downtown. And she saw that was when FLW, when they was coming. They had the wrap trucks, they had the top 10 Ranger boats, they had all that. That was when FLW was FLW, and they was coming through, and they had the whole city. You had the parade of 10 boats and trucks coming down. You got the guys coming from the back, all the confetti and fireworks and all that stuff was going on. It was an awesome sight. I took her to one of them weigh-ins, and she was like, whoa, blown away. And she's still with me. We still kicking. And that right there was me saying, okay, I got one by my side who's starting to understand, and is starting to get that I have a passion, that I have a drive, that I have goals in this sport. And she supports me, and I love her for that. I love her for that. And went on, started teaching, and I told her, I said, all right, once we get this income start coming in, I got to buy a truck. And she already knew when I got a truck what was coming next. It was coming a boat. And I got my first boat. It was a Triton. It was an 04 Triton, and this is like 2010, I think. And pretty good big boat for St. Clair. And I go out there and I'm fishing St. Clair. Now, at that time, I had already fished as a co-angler. I started in 06 as a co-angler. And fished St. Clair a little bit, but still wet behind the ears as a boater. I go out there, first tournament, swamp my boat.
You stuffed away.
Man, first tournament, 1, 2, lost about 3-4 rods off the deck, gone. I saw him fly off. Oof. I said, oh man, bilge pump wasn't working. We just idled on in, got off the water, and I said, all right, that was my first tournament. I'm never going to forget that. First tournament, and kept grinding, kept rolling, built some friendships within the area, and just, when springtime hit, I was on the water, and I had that Triton. Oh, I had that Triton 2-3 years. That was a real good boat for a first boat, and I enjoyed that boat, and got a top 10 on St. Clair, and got a top 10 on St. Clair in the BFL Super Tournament. We was on the Canadian side, which, man, that the Canadian side of St. Clair is unreal. It's like another planet. It's like another planet. Now, this year we were shut down, and the good thing about the shutdown that I could say is that I learned so much about the American side, because, excuse me, we're spoiled with the Canadian side. Right. So because of the shutdown, I was able to, I saw so much stuff this year that I was like, whoa, whoa, I might even have to run 17, 18 miles to go get a sack. I can come here. Whoa, what's that? Oh, and still putting 8, 9, 10 hours on the water, but just learning certain areas and breaking areas down and just seeing what that American side really had to offer, because we're real spoiled that Canadian side. I mean, you can go over there and get in a stretch and make 2, 3 drifts, and you got 21 pounds. It's time to go to the weigh-in. I mean, they there, and it was guys over there on the Canadian side. The Canadians, they was posting on Facebook 25, 26 pound sacks, like it was just footballs, like it wasn't nothing. And that right there just shows the type of lake that it is. I mean, 2/3 of the lake is in Canada, but it was, for me, I always try to take a positive out of something. And that was my positive this year, is that I was able to get just a lot more familiar and more comfortable fishing the American side, and seeing what it has to offer. And it has a lot to offer. I learned a great deal about it, and I think it's gonna be beneficial for me down the road. But that was like 2012. I got a top 10 on a super tournament in BFL, cashed a check, wife was happy. And then sold to Triton, got my first Ranger. Oh man, bought my first Ranger, and that right there, I thought I had it. I got the Cadillac, because up here it's Ranger country. It's Ranger country. That was a great boat. Got real familiar with my Ranger rep at the time, and I had to take it down to Arkansas. I had to take it to flipping. And quick story. So we driving down to Arkansas. My Ranger rep was like a day ahead of us. So we get down there, we meet our Ranger rep, drop my boat off. And what happened was I bought my Ranger, and the hull was separating.
Oof. Not good.
Yeah, the hull was separating. So, I bought it from this guy, thought it was on the up and up, and it wasn't. So what happened was, and prior to that, I had just torn my Achilles.
That's a tough one too.
I had just torn my Achilles, and my wife was pregnant with our second child. So I tear my Achilles in a basketball tournament. 10 seconds to go in championship game, I tear my Achilles. And come home, she thought we was joking, because my best friend, my brother, called her and said, "Hey, Devin just tore his Achilles." And she come home pregnant with Dairy Queen. She thought we was joking. And I'm sitting there, my foot all messed up. I done bought this boat. I have surgery. And then we were riding down, me and my buddy. He helped me ride down the flipping. We get down there, and at the time, I couldn't tell you how hospitable Ranger was. I mean, wow. Just, I got down there, met my Ranger rep, whole plant tour, which was just awesome, because I'm in awe. I'm like, I'm here. You talking about the Holy Grail? I'm here. I'm at Ranger. I mean, every single part of that plant we walked through. They showed us everything, how they make the transom, where they make the trailers. We walked through from beginning to end. I mean, that place,
sweet,
dude. I was like, wow, this is it. And everybody looked at me like, they was like, "He like a kid in the candy store." Like, you sit there in the magazine, you look at a Ranger, let alone you own a Ranger. Now you at the plant. What more could happen today? I'm there. So we get with my Ranger rep, and he says the museum is across the street. That's the Ranger Museum. So we go over there, and I'm like, this place is awesome. So I walk up in there, and I see this. I thought it was like a big paper poster cutout, but it was Forrest. It was Forrest Wood, the man right there. But he didn't move. I'm like, is it real? But it was him. So he started, I'm like, oh man, that's Forrest. So he comes over, shakes my hand, he's talking, and then his wife, Nida, comes over. She said, "Where y'all from?" It's like, "From Detroit." She was like, "From Detroit?" Yeah, she was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I had an issue with my boat." And she was like, "Baby, don't worry about it. When you get your boat back, it's gonna be brand new. I promise you. I'm like, okay. So I'm walking around, super kid in the candy store now, because Forrest is talking to me. He's walking me around the museum, and they got all these old pictures, and we're talking, and he says, Devin, I want to thank you. I said, thank me for what? He said, you didn't have to buy a boat. You wanted a boat, and you chose Ranger, and I'm gonna take care of you. And I was like, okay, Forrest. Oh, okay. And I'm taking it in.
Starstruck.
Yeah, no doubt. Straight starstruck, you know. And he's taking us around, and he found out I played college ball, and then he asked me for my autograph. And I signed a picture for him. And my Ranger rep, he was laughing because he saw me starstruck. And then Forrest signed a picture for me, and that was awesome. You know, for me to sit there and the cool thing about Forrest, the cool thing about that gentleman is that I saw him 2-3 more times after that, and he still knew who I was.
It's incredible.
I saw him at the Classic. He still knew who I was. I saw him at the Vexus unveiling. He still knew who I was. He still knew who I was. I mean, just memory like an elephant, man. He knew who I was, man. If I talked to him for a minute, he still, hey, man, you doing all right? You still catching them? All right, man. All right. You still got that boat? Like, no, I moved on to another one. He was like, oh, okay. Good. And that was awesome. You know, right down to flipping and just checking out that whole area. And that's bass country. I mean, that's bass country down there. They, you know, they fish 7 days a week, 24 hours. I mean, if you can get 2 hours on the water, them guys is gone. That's what they do down there. And I wish it was like that up here, but that's bass country down there. They take their bass fishing seriously. I saw guys down there with 20-year-old Rangers, but they had repowered. They had new, you know, they take their fishing down there. They don't play. So
their boat launches aren't getting closed.
Say what?
Their boat launches aren't getting closed.
No. Oh man, no. They don't have to pay at a boat launch. They don't have to pay at a boat launch. They just launch and go fishing. You got to pay $10 to launch up here on Cash App, and then I got to go down here and pay another $10, or I got to get the tag to go on my license plate when I come to a state park. You know, the thoughts of fishing are a little bit different north to south, but you know, we got one of the best fisheries up here. Then I moved on. That was a Z520. Love that boat. Got a Z520C. And that was the boat that I said, all right, this is it. It was loaded at the time, and I said, I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna go fish the coasters. So at the coasters at the time, it was you know, Champlain, Oneida, Potomac, lakes like that. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. And never been to Champlain. Get to Champlain, and that place is vast, but I love it, man. That's like my favorite. Besides St. Clair, it's like my favorite lake. When I talked to guys that never been there before, I said, all right, you take Okeechobee, you take St. Clair, you put them together. There you go. You can go get some largemouth, you go get some smallmouth, you come in with a mixed bag, you come in with a big bag of smallies, a big bag of largemouth. It's very vast. You can probably, you know, you can put 250 boats in that lake and you won't even know. It's just a big body of water. And I love every time I go there. It impressed me a lot about that fishery and what it's about. And one thing I learned about that lake, though it's vast, you got to pick certain areas of that body of water and work that area like it's a small lake, because it's just that vast. Because you do get overwhelmed. The first time I got there, I was overwhelmed. And the second time I got there, a year later, I figured it out. And just to catch fish, you know, because I've never been there before. So this part is part of the process, just learning those bodies of water and traveling and enjoying the ride. You know, like I said earlier, man, you gotta enjoy the ride before you get to that destination. And I'm riding right now. I'm riding, and I would consider myself speeding. I want to get there, but I'm enjoying everything that's come along with it, and that Ranger was awesome, man.
Now you are speeding. Now that you got that bird,
man. And now, so the funny thing about that, so the funny thing about that boat, it was the third year I had that Ranger, and my wife was like, "All right, it's about that time, ain't it?" And that was like her okay. That was her check. Because I get a new boat about every 3 years. And I was like, yeah, it is about that time. And she was like, she was like, you don't get another Ranger? And I was like, I don't know. And I was looking at the Elbow. I saw the Elbow, a couple guys that had the Elbow. And at the time, you had all these other boats that came out. Phoenix came out. Falcon came out. Skeeter was more of the southern boat. I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at Tritons because I had one before. But then, like I said, this is Ranger country. You know, I got a good rapport with the Ranger rep. And every time we go to Classic, we always go to the Ranger booth. And those people know us. And they see the guys came from Michigan and they chop it up and they talk to us. So it was more like, all right, I know those people. I created a rapport, a relationship with them. Let me dive in and see what's up on the Elbow. So I'm looking around because I've never bought a boat in Michigan. I've never bought a boat in Michigan. All my boats came from out of state, believe it or not. And I've tried, and it just never happens. I always find what I want somewhere else. So I'm in bed one night on the iPad, scrolling. I come across Honey Creek Tackle in Indiana, like right outside Indianapolis. Now, my dad's from Indiana. My grandmother lives in Anderson. And I'm like, all right. They were a Ranger dealer. That's where I was looking at them. And then all of a sudden, I see this Phoenix. I said, damn, look at that.
They tend to have that effect on people.
Looking at it, it looked just like the Ranger that I owned at the time. It looked just like it. It was black, gray, silver. It looked just like it. And then it had everything that my Ranger had on it, plus some. It had 3 Humminbirds, got 3 Humminbird Solaces on it, Alice jack plate, power poles. Only thing that was throwing me off was that it had a 2-stroke Merc on it. And they moved to the 4-stroke. And I looked at that boat. I called the guy on it, and I looked at it, and I called the guy on it. We talking back and forth, and I'm telling him I want it. And then on the back end, my Ranger dealer, he called me like, I'm gonna get something for you. And I'm like, dude, I'm thinking about to get this Phoenix because I can't let it go. When we had worked it out where the guy at the dealership, Honey Creek, Jason, he was like, dude, what was holding you back? I said, man, that 2-stroke. He said, how about we put 6 years platinum on it? I was like, sold. I'm coming. So I got 3 Solaces on it, Ultrex. I was the first owner of that boat. It's a demo boat. Might have had 110 hours when I got it. And I got 6 years platinum on that engine, and that boy ran true. That I was very impressed with that Merc. Second Merc I had Ruse before that, but that engine rolled, man. I have no problem out of that engine and that boat. On 2 Rangers and a Triton, that Phoenix PHX 21 PHX is the best big water boat ever been in. Best big water boat ever been in. Hull is deeper. So much storage. It's ridiculous. I love that Ultrex. And those units are real good units too. You know, once I dialed them in, the clarity, I saw boulders and rocks I didn't even know even existed on St. Clair. And like I said, had everything on it, had every bell and whistle that you could get for that year. It's an 18, but it's clean. So I wiped my boat down after every use on the water. After every use, I wipe my boat down. I can't tell you how many times guys came to me and said, dude, that is the prettiest bird I ever seen. It was like, you detail that every time I get off the water, unless it's raining, I detail that boat. Because like I said, I move them every 2-3 years. So I want to make sure that if somebody else gets it, they get in prime condition. And I like my boat looking clean. It just keeps, I always think, when I was teaching, I always told students a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind. Well, I want my boat, my office, not to be cluttered. So I got some clarity when I go to the water. I know where all my baits and stuff is, and I don't want to just come back to the lake the next day. And I hear guys, man, you put a lot of work in detailing that boat. It's just gonna get wet again. I understand that, but this is my process.
Right.
This is my process, and
don't mess with the flow,
man. And it's part of it. I like making sure that and then it gives you also opportunity as you wiping it down to see this wasn't here before. What happened? Or I need to screw this back in, or the rub rail coming loose, or stuff like that. So it just
on St.clair in that rough water.
You got to know your boat, and it's so many guys I see. They just come up, put their boat in the trailer, hook it up, and they gone. I'm like, dude, you don't know what's going on. You might about to blow a hub, and you won't even know it because you're not checking out your boat and your trailer before you leave.
All right.
And you have to know your boat. And there's so many things that I've learned by having boats and being on the water and being around a lot of older anglers that especially when you travel. Like I'm doing a BFL, it's a day, but you hopping on the road and you got to have tools. You got to have a air gun just in case you do blow a tire, blow a hub. You got to have an air jack because you don't want to sit there doing the cranking. So it's a lot of things that you got to have when you go on tour that a lot of people don't see. And it's kind of surprising to me because I'll see guys that are on the pro tour and they don't got half the stuff I got in my truck. And, I helped guys out. It was a couple years ago, some guy blew a tire and I actually pulled out my air jack and had his tire off with my air gun in like 5-10 minutes. It would have probably took him 45 minutes to an hour. Now, it was surprising to me that he didn't have that in his truck.
Right.
I'm like, okay, I'm ahead of the game on certain things. And as you roll and you gone 600-700 miles from home, you got to make sure that between point A and point B that you're going to be able to get to that destination. And you got to make sure you got everything intact and everything you need. So, I'm just enjoying the ride, looking forward to next year. I already started working on 2 different things. All right, I started working on the business end, and I've already started doing research on Champlain. So next year, FLW Coastal Series, we have first event in Champlain, then we go to St. Lawrence, and then we go to Potomac. And I love the Potomac. A couple years ago, I cashed a check. I think I got 16th or 17th place in the Potomac. Fishing grass, man, just those bodies of water. I always talk to some of my old fishing buddies who always tell me, man, you just spending all this money to go fish these events. I'm like, you can't take it with you. I said, when are you ever going to just say, I'm hooking up the boat and I'm going to the Potomac? You're not.
Right.
Whenever you're going to hook the boat up and say, we're going to Champlain? You're not. Only way you're going to do that is if you got a tournament on your schedule. And these are prime lakes that are bass havens.
Now, speaking of Champlain and Potomac, which one would you rather fish?
It would have to depend on what time of the year it is.
Doesn't matter what time of year, except for winter because Champlain's out from like November till April.
Honestly, probably Champlain. Probably Champlain because I can catch both. I can catch smallmouth and largemouth in so many ways: chatterbait, jerkbait, spinnerbait, shaky head, Mako rig, drop shot, fluke. You swim jig. I mean, you can get the punching, you can get the flipping. I mean, we saw Seth Fighter a couple years ago just wear him out. On milfoil. I mean, it's And then Jacob Wheeler was killing them all on the swim bait. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's at that time now where that's all I'm watching. I'm sitting there watching. My wife is like, "You a YouTube junkie?" I am. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sitting there doing my research, looking at what guys were doing in the past in 17, 18, and 19, and even this past year on those lakes, trying to figure out the puzzle and get an idea of what those fish could be doing around that time when we go next year, just so I can have some of a game plan when I hit the water. And then when you hit the water, you just start putting the pieces together until you figure out, what's going to be the game plan on game day. So I'm super focused, and I'm blessed, man. I mean, this past week, I got some real good partnerships that just fell in my lap.
AFCO, I saw one.
Man, that was wild. So it was Sunday. It was Sunday. I'm outside on my deck, trying to enjoy some good weather here in Michigan. It was like low 70s. Wife and kids out playing on the trampoline. I'm looking at my laptop because I'm a YouTube junkie. I'm outside on my deck, but I'm looking at my laptop, looking at videos from Champlain and just I got my notepad out and my pen. I'm writing notes down. And this email comes across. I'm like, all right, and I sort of pushed that to the side. I'm focusing on this. Someone told me to check that email. Hey, Devin, this is AFCO. We interested in working with you. I'm like,
hello.
I'm like, all right.
When do we start?
Yeah. I mean, I sent the email back and got the ball rolling. And it's good when other people recognize, your efforts, your hard work, your dedication, your passion, your drive. Is because man, it's hard work. I come home. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I take care of them first. That's my number one job. But then once they go to sleep, it's time to get in the bass basement and go to work. So sometimes when y'all see those videos on YouTube, I might have taken them at 1, 2 in the morning. And they don't look like it because I'm all energized and jacked up. But yeah,
that's because you're talking fishing.
Man, it's and fishing, you never stop learning. You never stop learning. You never stop gaining knowledge on the sport because it's always something that you could add to your arsenal. It's the road is continuing. I just love it. But right now, just the deal that went down with this, man. That was awesome this past summer. You want to put some asterisks on this summer. What was awesome? I get a call from Albo. They're like, "Hey, Devin, what you doing?" I said, "I'm on St.Clair." It was like, "You catching them?" I said, "I got a little deal going on. What's up?" It was like, "Want to do a video shoot about these new rods?" I'm like, "Oh, all right, no problem. Send the rods, and I'll do a video on the YouTube channel." He was like, "No, we don't send a film crew up." I was like, "Okay, I'm down with that too." So
is that the PLX video? That
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
That video, that 1 minute video is incredible.
Yeah, man. The first time I saw it, my mouth just stayed open. I was talking, so the guys come up. They're like, "Hey, Devin, can you meet us at the ramp like at 4:35 a.m.?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm already there, waiting on you. Let's go." And
there's 3.
Man, yeah, I'm there. I'm there. We get there. They start taking pictures. They got the drone flying already. Getting that all prepped out. I got 2 of my buddies with me for chase boats. It was a little bit dark, and the wind was blowing just a little bit, but I knew where I could go catch them. So they start filming right from the get-go, right from the jump. They start filming. As soon as get out the truck, they start filming, you know, and just be natural. Be natural. I'm like, all right, how can I be natural when I know I got a camera on me? But I'm about to get used to this. So go through the whole spiel, launch the boat, we rolling. I forgot to put the plug in.
Rookie.
Man, I never take the plug out. So I don't know why I took the plug out. And we get about 9 miles out. I look back after I got off pad, and my boat just bilge pump going. We ain't going back. I got 2 chase boats. We about to catch some fish. So they're hopping out of boats. They're hopping in my boat. And you got the drone going. And I'm here with Albo, Garcia. I'm talking to these guys, and before I know it, about 45 minutes in, bam, 5-pounder. Flatworm. I got him. Where they at? Flatworm.
Can you send us some?
We can't find him anywhere.
Man,
I want that color too. That specific color. Send them over.
Which color was that?
That's gold. That's goalie. Yeah,
I got some of those.
Yeah.
Out on me, dude.
I got 2 bags left.
It was that color and brown back that was smoking them this year.
Now that's the one that is always sold out.
Brown back.
I went through about 15 bags of them this summer, and then COVID and couldn't get them anymore.
Yeah, that brown back is going to be gold next year. I mean, if you. You know, so I'm with these guys. I catch a 5-pounder, and I was kind of nervous because I was like, I know they here, but I want to get these fish in the boat. So that first picture that you see when you go to the website, and I'm holding that fish up with my mouth open, that was me letting all that anxiety and that nervousness out when I saw that 5-pounder. When I lifted her up, it was like boom.
It was meant to happen.
Man, I mean, and she hit, and just they got all that stuff on footage. They got the fight, they got all that. And when I got that bad boy to the boat, and that's a nice ride. And that was a 7-foot medium, and I go from 15-pound X9 braid to that was around some rocks. So I went to 8-pound 100% fluorocarbon with Alberto knot, and drop shot leader was about a foot, and super sharp sticky point Berkeley hook, that Fusion 19, and I got her in the boat, and I think I caught about 6 or 7, and they was like, all right, it's time to go in. It was just, we got in the area, and it was, and got on in, and they took some. It was lunchtime, and they was like, "Dude, we don't know what to do." I was like, "What you mean?" It was like, "We never had nobody catching that quick." I was with my fellas, and I was like, "You in the land of the giants, baby."
You're on St. Clair.
Yeah, and I was like, "You lucky you ain't on the Canadian side, because it would have, I would have just gave y'all some rods and said, game on, let's go."
Yeah.
But it was the guys at Livid Films down in Florida. They came up, man, and Austin and Patrick, and they knocked that video out the park. They knocked that video out the park. I showed my wife, and she was like, "That's like a Super Bowl commercial."
It was.
Yeah. It came out real good. I was very pleased with it, and the rods are awesome. I mean, I use the rods, on St. Clair a lot this year, and I used them. I got some footage where I was catching them on a fluke. Very light, very sensitive, strong. It's just the next level. You don't see a rod that sensitive, that strong at that price point. They're $100 to $120, and it's a real good. I think so soon as they're start coming out now, but when they hit Tackle Warehouse and stuff like that, I think they're gonna sell out because it's just that good of a rod. They probably could have put that rod at at a 150, 200 price point, and it probably would have still sold.
Well, they could because of the Veritas name. It's traditionally a $99 rod.
Yeah, and they dropped it down, and it's a heck of a rod. You know, I was able to catch some fish cranking earlier this year on the 7.6 winch, and loads up. You know, like you got a $250 rod. You know, good parabolic bend, and you know. It's a risk. They're gonna be in my deck next year. Now, and I wouldn't talk about that rod and back that rod if I didn't think, you know, it was a good product. And whoever gets that rod is definitely gonna be happy, especially at that price point, as you stated. You know, I think they did the right thing by putting all that material together, and you know, it's a slick rod too. And, you know, my wife, she went fishing with me one time, and that was this year on our anniversary because of COVID. And when I showed her those rods, she was like, "That's a pretty rod. I want that white rod." And so, you know, I think they put everything together in regards to really marketing that rod. And that video shoot was awesome. And I was definitely blessed and thankful for Albo Garcia to pick me to you know, be the spokesperson or the face of that rod, because you know they could have went for anybody, and then they chose me. And that just goes to show, you know, that hard work that I continue to talk about, you know, it's starting to come out that people are starting to see. You know, I got with boat EFX earlier this week too. Yeah, so yeah, you got a lot of companies that are starting to recognize and see, you know, the capabilities of working with me, and I can't wait to add that, you know, step to my that boat trailer step to my to that Phoenix, or to the next Phoenix. I don't know. I may be getting a new one, but
it's almost that time.
Yeah, you know, it could possibly be. I mean, I had a couple guys already say, "Hey, are you gonna move that boat?" And it has $15,000 of accessories on it. You know, jack plate, power poles. It has the silver poles on it too. That's what makes that boat pop. It has those silver poles on it, and you got 3 Humminbird Solaces on it. Those are some 12-inch. Those are some nice units. I got the dual at the dash, one up front. You know, best riding big boat ever had. Best riding big boat ever had. You know, just cuts through waves because it got that deep hull on it. But you know, somebody makes me an offer, cool. If not, you know, I got a boat that I feel is right where I need to be, and it's going to get me where I need to go on the water, and I got full confidence in that boat. So
yeah. So I've been looking down here. I've been trying to figure out how to. I want to figure out a way to actually play that video on here. But if I can't get this file uploaded in time, what we'll do is we're gonna link your like a link to either your Facebook or Instagram down in the description, so everybody listening or watching can go watch this video, because it is
that video is sick, man.
It's so good.
Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. The first couple weeks I was going to sleep watching that video, and it was you know,
that's a resume video right there.
Yeah, you know, it you know, I'm speechless when I think about the opportunity that I had to work with you know, Albo Garcia and the gentleman that came from Florida from Live It Films to, you know, work on that video. You know, just and honestly, when I was talking to them, because they were here for 2 days, it was like, man, this is probably the best shoot we ever had. And I was like, really? It was like, man, we was laughing and just kicking it. And
left the plug out of the boat. Nobody died.
So we took the guys back because they wanted to go get some lunch. I put the plug in. Then we went back out and shot some more. And they were just like, dude, you know, all we need is a little bit more from tomorrow and we good. And you know, they was in a chase boat, and he told me just take off and turn back, and he got the drone flying, and I mean, it was a real good experience just to see how, you know, the ins and outs and how they get this footage out there, to get this content out there. And those guys that live with films, they straight professionals, straight photographers and videographers, and the way he sliced that edit on that video for it to be a minute, from you looking at that video and you looking at like, okay, from beginning to end, this is how this day went. And that's what I got out of it. Like from beginning to end, this is how this day went. In the video, me pulling up to the ramp, getting out the truck, you know, getting in the boat, taking off, you know, just working with the units, working with the power poles coming up, you know, the sound of that engine, just, you know, like you said, it's a resume video. Like I don't even got to send out my proposals, just got to send out a link.
Yeah. Yeah. See, this is what I can help bring it. Give me the right crew. This is what we can do.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it was that was, you know, just an awesome time on the water. I enjoyed it, you know, and looking forward to what's coming next. You know, I'm focused on the business end, and a lot of individuals, when you talk to them when it comes to fishing, they don't understand that as an angler, you're the professional angler, you're your own agent, you're your own pit crew, all that stuff. You don't. It's just you when you are out on a tournament trail, and you know, when I approach companies, and when companies approach me, you know, to get an understanding of the sport and the advertisement possibilities of it, you know, especially non-endemic sponsors, they sort of, you know, sometimes they're reluctant when they see the possibilities, then they're like, okay, they're definitely intrigued and want to definitely want to get involved. So I got some big things coming down the road. Just you know, it's that time to knock the sponsorship areas out, so I can focus on you know, putting down the entry fees and then focusing on getting the gear I need, and you know, it's all going to align right, man. It's all going to align right. And I'm just, like I said, man, I'm enjoying the ride. This is a dream come true every single day when I'm able to just get in my element and focus on what I've been, you know, dreaming since I was young. I talk to my son all the time. Now I'm a quote guy. I'm always a quote guy. And my son, like I said, basketball runs in our family. Even though we got this COVID situation going on, he got a ball in his hand every day for an hour and a half, because he wants to be like Kyrie. He wants to be like, you know, Dame Lillard. So he got a ball in his hand every day. So I tell him all the time, nobody's going to believe in your dream until they start seeing your dream happen. And right now, you know, throughout the years, I would tell people, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. And now those same people is like one of my best friends from back home, he said, I guess those VHS tapes helped. You know, you know, they cracking jokes with me now because I didn't stop. You know, and it was times where I could have stopped and just said, you know what, I'm gonna get a boat, I'm just gonna fish. But you know, it's something here that won't let me quit. It's something here that won't let me quit, and I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep, you know, I'm gonna keep just going, man. It's just something in me that won't let me quit, man. You know, even when I, you know, have some rough days, I still got to focus. Like, man, you had the opportunity to go in the water. What did you learn today? You learned something. You know, you learned where not to catch them for one, but what else did you take from this experience, and make a mental note of that, and sort of go from it, because there's always something positive to take when you're on the water or when you're able to talk to individuals. I love going to the Bassmaster Classic, you know, and that was one thing that we started like 7-8 years ago. And the first classic we went to was when they was in Tulsa. So a couple of my buddies, this is crazy.
That the one even E Squared had that giant bag on the final day at Grand Lake?
Was that, so it was Grand Lake. Did Edwin win that? I think Edwin won the second time they went to Tulsa, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to figure out who won the first one.
Was it Cliff Prince? Was it Cliff Pace? One of those two.
Pace. Because the following year he didn't fish because he fell out of a tree and hurt something, right? Yeah. So I think that was Pace. So what happened was we're in Michigan and we got like I think it's a 15, 16-hour drive from Michigan to Tulsa, going through Missouri and the Midwest, right? This snowstorm comes out. And I'm talking to my fellas, like, now it's like 8, 9 o'clock at night. We about to drive from Metro Detroit in a snowstorm that's coming down, like inches, feet. It's coming down. I'm like, fellas, we ain't got to go. You know, it was like, no, we going. I said, all right. 23 hours in the car.
Oof.
We had to go through Indiana. We went through Ohio. We couldn't go the other way because the storm was coming through that way. So we had to go under the storm. So we drove through Michigan, Ohio, Indiana. What's after Indiana? Is Tennessee? Tennessee. Or is
Kentucky, right? I think it's Kentucky, yeah.
Kentucky, Tennessee. Then we drove through Tennessee. And I think Tennessee is connected to Oklahoma. Because I remember driving through Memphis. 22 or 23 hours in the car with them fellas. I love them guys like they're my brother. But it was about to go down.
Forget about it.
It was about to go down. I love them guys, but when we got there, it was a good time. You know, it was a good time. And I love going to the Classic every year because of the relationships and the building and the people saying, man, I saw you last year. What's going on with you, man? Who are you? What's going on? I see you. I saw you last year in Tulsa. I saw you last year in South Carolina. I saw you in Tennessee, man. How you doing? What's going on? How's the family? You know, so it's that sort of starts my season off due to the fact that we don't start till June and July. And hopefully that will change in next year too, where I'll be able to say, you know what, I can stop the day job and really jump on board. You know, the next 2 years, my goal is to qualify for the tackle warehouse and then go from there. I think that I'm learning how to put the pieces together at home. So when I get to the lake, I can navigate and get on the water and figure out the puzzle on the water. So I'm doing all that, and all this stuff is self-taught. I didn't have no older gentleman and sat me down and said, hey, this is how you do it. I'm passing it on to you because I'm done. I'm all learning this on my own. Now I do have some older guys that have talked to me and gave me some insight, but nobody to say, here go the black book. It's all you got to do. And so I'm learning on my own, and it's a journey. I love the ride. I love the whole part of it, man. And, you know, it's just hard work pays off. I hashtag that quite a bit, and it's paying off. And, you know, this is something that I'll truly love to do. And when it's all said and done, I want to have no regrets. So I love this sport. I love the partners that I have. I have full confidence in the partners that I work with. I wouldn't support nobody that I didn't think I wouldn't want the average guy to go out there and buy a product and not, you know, say, hey, man, I watch this guy on Instagram and they don't work for me, you know. But these work. These flatworms, they work. They work. And another thing that's hard to get right now is these right here. These fritz sides, man. Smallies was smashing them this year on that. And I was so quiet. I was so quiet about that bait. And, you know, you think of that fritz side, you think of that of a early spring, late fall type bite, riprap and transition areas and stuff like that. Them smallies was smashing that because they got that tight action and just smallies, man, when they see something they want, they eat it. And they eat it. They eat it. And I was I had one area where it was coming off a flat, about 10 feet of water, and I was catching Roman smallmouth on that fritz side, and I kept that quiet. I kept that quiet till now, but it was something that, you know, I thought that, you know, they were in that area, and let me just try it out. And I tried it out in like second cast, bam. I'm like, okay, if one going to hit it, it's going to be some more. So, but you know, it's starting to happen, and you know, I'm enjoying the ride, man. I'm enjoying the ride.
100%, dude. That's pretty sweet.
Did you get that video to load?
It's halfway through. It's so the StreamYard won't take movie files for some reason. They only take MP4. But it's about halfway. If not, we'll get that link put up. But
I think
we still got time. We're still okay.
There's a I forgot there's a YouTube app that you can download, and you can download that to an because MP4 is a video file, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can download it to an MP4. I've actually got it on an MP4, and you can download it that way. Because when I received it, that might be the 2020 video of the year, and I'm not even I'm not saying that because I'm in it. If somebody else was in it, I probably would have been like, "That's a bad video."
That's funny.
Yeah,
so we got a couple more questions for you, and I'm sure by the time it's done, we can we'll throw it up.
Oh yeah, man! Like I said, I'll talk all day. I don't even know what time it is right now.
That's funny.
It's a little after 9 Eastern, so we're doing all right.
Yeah, I'll talk all day. Yeah, that's one of my that might be one of my downfalls.
There's no such thing as too much talking. But dude, what's the career goal? Like, where do you want to see yourself reach? You know, what milestone do you want to hit? You know,
you know what? I think for any professional angler, the number one goal is the classic, and I don't care how you get there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't care how you get there. The number one goal is a classic. It's if you look back at so many anglers and they pass, somehow, some way they reach that point to where they're at the classic. Because that's it. I don't care what other cup or what other championship is made. Any cold-hearted bass fisherman is going to say it's the classic.
Right.
It's the classic. When your name is on that classic and you are at, you almost like a fishing guide. You made it. You there. You holding that trophy up.
You're one of 50.
Nothing left to prove. Yeah.
I mean, you have nothing. You have nothing more to prove. You're there. Hank Cherry. I felt so bad for him a couple years ago when he lost it. Now he had some redemption on Gunnersville. I remember when Tak won. I mean, that was within minutes when Takahiro won.
That was Lake Murray, right? South Carolina.
He was throwing a square bill. He caught like 2 or 3 within a couple minutes. That was it. And the eerie thing about that, the year before that, Tak was at whose house was he at?
Wasn't it Clun?
He was at Rick Clun's house, and he picked up Rick Clun's house and was screaming. You're right.
Yeah.
Rick Clun's house.
I remember watching the video and talking about that. Yeah.
And the number one thing is a classic right now. It's fishing the Toyota Series and qualifying for the Tackle Warehouse circuit, and getting to that stage. And I think when I get to that stage and I continue to grow, I continue to get better as an angler. Look at the Bass Opens. I don't want to oversaturate myself to where I'm stretching myself thin. You see a lot of guys that go out there and they stretch themselves thin and then they fade away because they didn't have the opportunity to actually win one or cash checks, and they pocket ran dry, and then they just was on that stage for a year or 2 or 3 years. You don't want that. I don't want that. When I get to that stage, I want to be on that stage and continue to grow and continue to progress. And, you got some anglers that are on that Tackle Warehouse stage and they good where they at. They cashing checks, they making a living, and they fine. And you got some guys that are at that stage at Tackle Warehouse, but they also fishing the opens. And why are they fishing the opens? Because they want that classic. you know, they want that classic. You know, it might not be necessarily that they want to fish the Elite Series. It might just be they want to win one and get to that stage and win a classic. And I think that's the end game for any hardcore bass fisherman is the classic. So, you know, I have a strategic plan in place and I'm following it and I'm going at my own pace. You know, it's going to happen when I least expect it. And the hard work is going to pay off. The passion is going to pay off. It's all going to happen all at once. And I'm going to enjoy the moment. I'm going to enjoy the moments. I'm going to enjoy the top tens, the tournament wins, because it's coming. And I just got to continue to work hard and stay focused and, you know, just keep taking that step, you know. And I think the end game for me is to get the classic. If I don't get there, you know what? I didn't stop trying. You know, so that's just part of it, you know. So, and you know, and I'm fine with that. You know, if at the end of the day, when I put my rods up and, you know, and I say, you know, I put everything into it and I just didn't get there, I'm fine with that. You know, so, but I don't think everything that's happening for me is happening for that to occur. I think everything that's happening for me is for a bigger picture. And, you know, I'm just, like I said, I'm enjoying the ride. And, you know, if I can look behind the curtain of life and see what's in store for me, I'll probably go buck wild crazy. So I'm just going to keep pushing and keep having faith and keep, you know, being who I am on and off the water. And, you know, yeah, this is me. Like I said, I'll talk to y'all all day long. I'm so personable, you know.
It's good.
Yeah.
That's just me. I've always been like that. You know, I'm a genuine person. You know, if I feel y'all genuine, you know, we gonna sit there and we gonna chop it up all day long. You know, and
love it.
Yeah.
I mean, hunters, fishermen, you could have so many differences, but when y'all got that one thing in common, everything go out the door. And it's like, hey man, you know, we on the water, we talking about fishing, you know, we talking about the one that got away, we talking about the one that we didn't expect to catch, we talking about that last minute catch, you know, we talking about, you know, just anything and everything that has occurred, because everybody has a story. I mean, everybody has a story to get to that point. And, you know, very fortunate to hang out with you guys tonight. You know, everybody has a story and mine is still being written. So I'm going to keep on going.
Yeah. Heck yeah, dude.
We'll definitely be watching. That's for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of watching, I have the video up now. So if we want to roll that here, you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
For this goodness here? Play it.
Got one? Hello, folks. Devin Banks here on beautiful Lake St. Clair, and I'm here with Albo Garcia to talk to you about the new Albo Garcia Veritas rods. These rods are totally awesome, and they are strong, sensitive, and light. It's just that it gives me confidence. They are so light, they are so strong, they are so sensitive. Out here on Lake St. Clair, I got some light bites, and I was able to feel them due to this rod. Super impressed with this rod and what it's able to provide me, and I have superior confidence that this rod is definitely going to be on my deck. It's going to get them in the boat. That it comes with 3M PowerLux resin, which is going to totally upgrade this rod, make it 15% stronger than the previous Veritas. Also, it comes with EVA grips, so the whole day you're comfortable and you're able to work your bait and catch those fish. It's so sensitive, it's so light, and it's so comfortable that the whole day I didn't know that I had a rod in my hand. These grips do not hold water, so I'm able to keep a good grip on them and feel the bites. So I really love these EVA grips. They also come with titanium alloy guides with ultralight zirconium inserts for lightweight balanced rods to improve your sensitivity to get you bit. The Albo Garcia Veritas comes in a variety of rods: frog, crankbait, finesse, general purpose. These rods are what you need. The ergonomic design reel seat by Albo Garcia gives me the availability to feel the slightest bites because It's blank through. So as I'm holding it in my hand here, I can feel every rock, every piece of grass, and the bite, and that's what's important.
Fish to win, baby.
Heck yeah, dude.
Man, that was.
If Douglas wasn't a thing, you would have sold me on some Veritas rods.
Man, that's a man. That was probably the one of my highlights of the summer, hanging out with those guys and doing that video shoot and just seeing the behind the scenes of how companies, have faith in their product and the amount of money that they put into advertising that product. So it was definitely a good opportunity. I'm looking forward for more opportunities like that to occur, and that was I think a many of firsts. So very happy and pleased and thankful for Albo Garcia allowing me to be a part of that advertisement and that footage.
Heck yeah, dude.
Good stuff.
What I did notice that I'm curious about is, are you not a hat guy on the water?
I am, but I got a haircut just for the video shoot, and I wanted
Polish it up a little bit.
I wanted to be fresh and clean, so I am a hat guy on the water. But that day, I wanted everybody to really see Devin Banks. So, I usually have about 5-6 hats because I'll lose one on the water
every time.
Man, I have a peanut head, so it's gone, and I don't go back. I'm rolling. I'll just get another one and keep it going. So, because I've got so many hats. Like I said, I put 5 or 6 in the boat, and if I lose one, I just grab another one. And
that's a smart play. I have to call Douglas and get a bunch more hats so I can start doing that, because I lose one like every 3 to 4 mornings as I run down the lake. Because I forget it's on. I'm half asleep.
It's open water. You rolling around. You looking for it. It's sitting there floating. Then you get it, and it's wet and
waste of time.
Man. Yeah, it's a waypoint on it. It's a waypoint now. It's a waypoint now. So,
dude, okay, I'm realizing something here. It's actually really funny, dude. I found your celebrity lookalike.
Oh man,
are you ready? Hold on, let me see if I can share. Have you ever watched Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw?
Yeah.
All right, ready for this?
Man, who you about to hit me with? Don't do it.
You never know with Bailey.
Yeah, dude, you are totally Idris, man. Look at that smolder. Look at that smolder. You are totally him, man.
Yes,
hey. I'd give that like a 98% match.
Oh, all you got to do is add British accent. It's over with. It's done.
You guys are long lost.
I'm gonna go upstairs to my wife and hey, babe, how you doing? I'm gonna hit her with my whack British accent. Hey, love, how you doing?
Oh, that's fantastic.
You're a certified badass.
Now you just gotta grow the beard out and get like the silver gray beard.
There you go.
Ooh.
Hey, this does not grow. I have a baby face, and this is it. This is it right here. It don't grow.
I used to be the same way. Beard oil.
And then poof.
Yeah, as soon as it starts growing, throw some beard oil on it and then trim it down and slap some more. It'll just keep growing.
Oh wow! Yeah, I don't even know if I want that.
Andy was like a chip that commercial.
I want to stay with the baby.
I could shave tomorrow, and this will be back in like a week.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Beard
oil.
You started something now.
So
that's too funny. Well, dude, Devin, we got one more question for you before we're gonna wrap it up here tonight. And Andy, do you want to hit him with it, or do you?
This is all your question, man. Every time.
This question has been in every single podcast since the first one, which is pretty cool. But so we give no heads up whatsoever, unless you've listened to a podcast in the past. We don't give heads up for this for people new to the show. But the question is, if you could sit down, have a steak and a beer with 3 different people, say it's maybe 400 years ago, or they're here, they're still alive, current. Who
can be anyone?
Yeah. What 3 people would you invite and pick their brain?
Number
Doesn't
one,
have to
Kobe.
be fishing. Doesn't have to be fishing either. Could be anything.
Number one, Kobe Bryant.
Mamba mentality. I like it.
Number one, that messed me up. That really messed.
I think it messed a lot of people up, even if they don't follow basketball. That's like a sports icon from mid '90s to now, late '90s to now.
Yeah, that messed me up. That messed me and my brother. You know, even my brother actually saw him play when he was in LA. But you know, you don't realize the attachment you have to somebody when every Christmas it's the Lakers game. They playing somebody, and it was for our family on Christmas. We ate, and then it was a Lakers game. Mm-hmm. So it was part of a holiday. You know, he had just retired, and that happened. So number one, it would be him. It would be Kobe. Fishing wise, I got to pick somebody fishing. Honestly, he's a Michigan man. If I could sit down with this guy and have a steak, it would be Kevin. It would be Kevin. I met him a couple of times, but if I could sit down with Kevin Van Dam, and Kevin, if you're watching, you in Kalamazoo, out in West Bloomfield, I would drive to you. But it would be Kevin. So versatile, so strong mentally. And he was the first guy that, when I realized he was from Michigan and realized that, you know, from 15, 16, he was just a beast, kicking guys' butts in clubs. And they knew, they knew, like before that was when you had the Bass Top 150. They knew he was coming. When he was 16, they knew, because they knew of his brother, they knew of his dad. They knew that when he come,
that's a bad man.
He's young, and he's not taking no losses. He coming. And
their wallets get more scared than they are.
Man, he's coming. And you know, that's like the GOAT when it comes to fishing in my eyes, you know. Right. But you know, I would have to have a steak, a beer, and dessert with Kevin. But Kevin, most definitely, Kobe, and last one. This is tough. This is tough.
I love this question.
Barack.
Oh, Barack Obama?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought you said The Rock. I was like,
I thought you said Dwayne Johnson at first. So I was like, The Rock.
The Rock would be good too, man. You have to give me like 5-10, but you know, I would have probably sit down. I will, you know, sit down with Barack. Yeah, with Barack Obama. You know, that would probably be one right there. But Kobe for sure, Kevin, Barack, and then if I had to throw another one up in there, it would be like Denny Browder, somebody like that. They got so much vast knowledge of the game. You know, you got so much vast knowledge of the game that you know, it just exudes out of them. You know, and you got some guys that been in the game for a long time that are still kind of young. You know, that I look at some anglers and I say, okay, I model some of his actions, like a Chris Zaldane. You know, I sort of look at his fish ability. And I say, okay, I sort of fish like that. I like big swim baits. I like a swim bait bite. I like reaction types of bites. But I'm also versatile. I can flip a jig. I can slow down and drop shot and Ned rig, stuff like that. So, excuse me. So a guy like that. But you know, it's I honestly, anybody that I feel has more knowledge than me, I'm yanking them. You know, and that's another reason why I love going to the Classic, because it's so many guys there that, you know, Evan and Edwin Evers. You got guys like that, man. It's just, you know that they're at that point to where they got over their 10,000 hours that make them a professional. Right. You know, they live, breathe, eat, sleep this sport, and guys like that, man, you know, you just want to pretty much kidnap them and say, tell me, talk to me, and those type of individuals is individuals I think that I will be able to be around and just make me a better angler, make me a better person, give me some understanding, give me some insight, give me some guidance. And, I remember one time we was at the Classic a couple years ago, and I ran into Bernie Schultz. And like I said, I'm a YouTube junkie. So in the wintertime, all I watch is VHS tapes or CDs of, or DVDs, of old FLW stuff. So I remember Bernie Schultz was fishing Beaver Lake. He was going over a map, what he was doing. And some of that stuff just, stays in my mind. And I saw Bernie, and he said, I just started doing the YouTube, Instagram stuff. And he said, man, I've been watching you. Keep doing what you're doing. And when you hear stuff like that from somebody that you've been watching, he told me, awesome. you keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, I was like, okay. And sometimes when I get down on myself, stuff like that pops up. Like, he told you keep doing what you're doing. It's going to be ups. It's going to be down. This is a humbling sport. You can come in with 20 pounds yesterday and 0 out tomorrow. You're not fishing against all these anglers. You going against them fish. And moments like that are moments that stick with me to keep me going, to keep my drive going, keep me focused on the end game. So a lot of guys that take different avenues to get to that same position, whether it's the Leeds, the Classic, Tiger Warehouse, but as long as you're there, you're there. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm in that route of getting there. And I think 2021 is going to be a real good season for me. I think I'm going to put some pieces of the puzzle together. I think I'm going to have some success. And, if it's meant for me, it's going to happen. And I'm just going to go from there and keep the faith and keep it rolling and just, wait for everything to happen. And when it happens, it's going to be a good moment. It's going to be one of those moments where you just, everything pours out. I'm waiting for the moment where everything pours out. So, I think it's going to happen sooner than later.
Yeah, dude. Well, I hope they have an expo and all at the Classic this year, and hopefully you can make it, and we'll link up. Yeah,
man, we got to get together. Maybe we can get together and have a steak.
Yeah,
I'm down. I love steak.
Hey, it's in Texas. They got some big steaks. Everything's big in Texas.
I'm in.
So I'm down with that, man. I am down with that. I'm down with good ribeye. I'm down with a good ribeye, baked potato. I'm down with that. So hopefully they have some parameters in place and some guidelines, and this gets taken care of to where we'll be able to have an expo. And I don't know how things are in Buffalo, but things are sort of increasing here. And
we're like flatlined. We've been at like 30, 40 cases a day for 7 or 8 months now. I feel like maybe not that long, like 5 months. Yeah, we're pretty flat.
Yeah,
like 1%.
I think we had 2,000 cases yesterday or today. Oof. Yeah, we skyrocketed. So I don't know how that's going to look in 2-3 weeks.
The winter kind of makes it all die off, because that's going to hopefully bring people inside.
I hope so. You got a lot of people that's just getting angst and getting anxiety because this is not normal. It's not normal. And we have to at this point in time with every individual. We have to be patient. We have to be calm. We have to be compassionate, because we don't know how everybody is doing here and here. Everybody is rattled just a little bit.
Right.
And we got to make sure that we keep that in front of us, because everybody might look like they're doing all right, but this isn't normal. So it's just a time to where we gotta focus on one another, and we don't get through it. We're gonna get through it. It's gonna be something that our grandkids and great grandkids are gonna read about about this particular time, in our history. And it's something that we just gotta be strong, get through, stay focused, and I think we'll be all right. I think, like you said, I think the winters, because we're learning more on how to navigate through it, and I think this winter, and I think we'll be calm. Hopefully, we won't have these spikes. Every now and then we might have a spike, but we got to see where the spike's coming from and shut that down for a minute, and then go from there, isolate it, and then as we go into spring and summer, where we saw that the trend was going down, and hopefully by then they'll have a way to vaccinate this, or have a way for us to get out there in the open and get on the road, and because like I said, I'm Champlain and St. Lawrence. That's a long ride if I can't go through Canada.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's a long ride if I can't drive through Canada. And I think it's the 401. It's real easy for me to hop on the bridge.
It's what, 4 hours to Buffalo from the 401?
And when I fished the Buffalo event a couple years ago, and it was that 1 day tournament.
Yeah.
That coaster, 4 hours. 4 hours. Bam, I was back. And I had no problem with that. And I think it's like 5.5 or 6 when you come the other way through the States. So looking at next year, hopefully this be all, taken care of, and Canada open back up, and we can drive through Canada and just have that straight 401 shot, and everything will be all right. So, yeah, man, looking forward to it. I appreciate you, gentlemen. No doubt about it.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, man, anytime, man. Anytime. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, take care. And again, we appreciate
stay healthy and safe.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch. We'll be watching and rooting you on.
I appreciate it, man. You guys stay safe and healthy and be well.
Yeah, you too, man. Have a good night.
You too. Later.
See ya. Dude, that was a blast.
Tons of fun.
Yeah.
That video, I can't get over that video. That video is incredible.
I know. I'm still going to link it down below for everybody, especially those who listened. We do have a good chunk of listeners over the YouTube viewers. So if you got to, listen on or view on YouTube, you guys already saw it, but we'll link it down below, and so everybody can click on it, go watch it, support Devin. We're going to put his social media down there as well, so you guys can go see what he's up to, see some of the stuff he's putting out. A good YouTube channel. He puts out a lot of cool content, a lot of stuff for Berkeley, different iCasts, different baits and such. So go check it out. But dude, I am whooped. I am so tired.
Me too. I'm gonna go hit the hay.
I don't know if it's the 1.5 hour long podcast or it's just a long day.
Both.
Yeah. But dude, that was a lot of fun. So thank you again to Devin.
Yeah, thank you.
Huge shout out to our show sponsors. Appreciate all of you guys. Hopefully I'm gonna get out in the water tomorrow. And
what's the forecast? Is it supposed to blow again?
I think it's like 5 to 8 mile an hour.
Oh, dude, that's not bad. It was ripping today.
Yeah, it was south at 20 plus today.
What, 8 to 13 in Buffalo?
So that's probably what, 5 to 8 here.
Yeah.
We'll see.
10 to 17, not bad. Hopefully, Snup doesn't listen to this. Next Saturday's wind forecast.
Yeah.
8 to 23 west-northwest.
Uh-oh.
Sunday, though, 2 to 9 east-southeast.
That's good.
So we'll probably be in the river Saturday, lake Sunday.
Oh, man. Is it really next weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, boy. I'm going to have no practice. No practice.
I've been on the lake. If I go Saturday morning, I'll be on the lake for about 8 hours in 2 weeks.
Wait, is the Elites tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh. What is the forecast for tomorrow? Because if it looks slightly, like I have to put in the line to be on the water.
It's going to be chilly, but, I mean, other than that, a little rainy.
I'm fine with chilly.
But, yeah, I got 9 to 15 here.
I want rain. Go where I'm going. It just helps stir them up a little bit. So.
Oh, 7 to 10 west-southwest. This is for, Honeyway. West-southwest, 7 to 10. Morning shower, otherwise cloudy and cooler. Dude, next Saturday morning when we launch, 38 degrees out.
Oh.
As
No,
of now.
no, that's actually I like it. That should be good, right? That means they should be chewing. Oh yeah, it is gonna be raining.
That's night before.
West at 9 to 29. Oh my god! I really hope it's a miracle change.
It seems to be that way right now.
So I'm looking at the forecast right now, and I have west northwest 2 to 4, and then west at 6
Tomorrow?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, go fishing.
I'm going fishing.
So all right, man, I'm getting off.
Yeah, dude. We'll talk to you. But thank you guys again for watching and listening. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, what?
This is a big one right here.
Who's
Joe
that?
Fonzie fishing the Douglas Derby with Larry Mazer.
Oh no! Right. As long as I catch some smallmouth on my birthday, I'll be pleased. So it is what it is. But guys, again, I know we're rambling now. We're going on an hour 40 minutes. But thank you guys. If you are listening right now, huge shout out to you.
Yes.
Thank you guys again, and we'll see you guys next time.